Before all of this, I was actually working in the IT industry as a software project manager. I finished grad school and I started working in the IT world, but a big part of me actually wanted to be part of the beauty industry. When I was younger, my father taught me how to draw, how to color, how to shade. He brought my attention to so many aspects of the actual art world, and it changed the way I viewed things, and it changed the way I saw things, and it became a big part of me. And I always wanted to do something that was artsy. When I moved to Lebanon, although I continued working in the IT industry, and the more I worked in that field, the more I realized that it was not what I wanted to do. I spoke to my parents and I told them I wanted to change careers and I wanted to pursue a career in the makeup world. They were not too happy about it in the beginning because they told me, you're very good at what you do. Why are you doing this? But at the same time, they knew how much I loved it. So they actually ended up supporting me. So I quit my job and I went to beauty school and I got my first certification. I was not satisfied with it. I wanted to learn more. So I joined Makeup Forever's Academy and I joined their beauty and artistry program. And then I worked with them on a couple of fashion shows. Then I got married and moved to Saudi Arabia. When I moved to Saudi Arabia, it was like starting off from scratch. I didn't know anybody, but I knew that I wanted to build this career. So I was like, okay, where am I gonna start? I found a local salon that was willing to train me on the actual local Saudi makeup taste. So I learned that. Then I actually wanted to get some experience. So then I found a salon and I worked there. The working hours and the load was not fun, but I did learn a lot, and it's basically starting from zero. But I knew that in order to get somewhere, to go somewhere in life, that you have to go through all of the steps. So I was fine with everything, with all the pressure, with all the workload. But then something caught my eye, which was the actual photography and the videography world of beauty, which was completely different from bridal makeup and event makeup. And I was so attracted to it that I started searching on ground, where are the local photographers, where are the models? So I started teaming up with them, and I used to tell them, okay, if you're not doing anything, come on, let's shoot. So I started building my portfolio. People started to know about me. They knew this girl called Maya, she loves to do makeup and she's really good at it. So they started requesting me. So I started to get clients here and there. And then suddenly I started getting calls for big projects. And then all I knew was I was working for big brands, big companies, for their TV commercials and for their print material. I worked with big names such as IKEA, Domino's Pizza, Arabia, the Ministry of Health in Saudi Arabia, and lots of big banks in the region. And it was a lot of fun. It was great exposure, although we worked a lot of hours, but it was fun. So I knew that this was the world that I wanted to be in. After working for a couple of years in Saudi Arabia, I decided to move back here to the Bay Area. And when I moved here, I was pregnant at the time. Although it was not an easy pregnancy, and coming back here and starting everything from scratch was very challenging. But I knew that this is what I wanted to do. So I ended up going all over again. I went to beauty school because in California we required to be licensed. So all of my previous licenses did not count. So I had to go to school all over again. I got my license. I had my daughter. And then 3 months later, I was in the convention center in Las Vegas buying equipment, supplies, products, everything for a salon that didn't even exist. I knew though that this is what I wanted to do. At the same time, my parents were telling me, why don't you just go back to the IT industry? You have your MBA, you have experience. Wouldn't it be so much easier? But I told them that I've come this far. I'm not gonna stop in the middle of the way. I told them that this is what I want to do and this is where I want to do it. So all I asked was for their support, and they supported me. When I came back from Las Vegas, I turned my room into a studio, and I started working on people. Any face that I could actually have for a couple of hours to do makeup on was a blessing for me that day. I started building up my portfolio from scratch. I launched a blog, and my social media accounts started to pick up. People started to recognize my work and started to hear about me. That's when I actually found a room inside of a salon. They were renting it, so I ended up renting the space, and I started to officially take clients. And after building a good base, a good clientele base, and after my business started to pick up, I leased another room, and then I felt like I was outgrowing myself. So then finally I found my space and I found this place, and I moved here. Persistence. If you really want something and you really want to get somewhere in life, don't let anything or anyone or any circumstance stop you from it. Keep going. Go after it, and eventually it will happen. Just never give up.